Can you see my screen, please? Okay, so let's pick it up from where we stopped in the last class. I'm just going to be picking it up from here. Now, when we talk about animal names in English, plural form, we have most of the animal names that are pluralized by adding s or es to them. For example, in dog, you have dogs. Fox, you have foxes. However, many animals retain the same form for singular and plural. For example, sheep, cattle, deer, pike, moose, and fish. And I think in the last class, I explained that fishes can be used when you refer to different species of fish. Okay, without wasting more time on that, we move to the next one. Now, we have plural nouns with singular functions. Some nouns generally are said to be plural in form, but they are singular in construction. What do I mean by singular in construction? It means that they only take singular verb. They act as a singular noun, though they are said to be plural, but they act as what? Singular noun. Now, there are words that originate as plural forms, but are now primarily used as singular. We have the most common ones to be names of fields of study, for example, physics, mathematics, ethics, and other examples you have there. You have news, measles, billiards. Although for news, we already learned that in our uncountable nouns, that news is just acting as singular, is not to be pluralized. Now, I have the news. The good news is that nobody was hurt. If you look at this properly, you have news. You know, we would have thought that, oh, news, this is supposed to be our, but because news is not meant to be pluralized, it takes s in its form. You don't say the singular form of news is new and the plural form is news. No, it retains this form and it acts as a plural noun. The good news, but it takes a singular verb. The good news is that nobody was hurt. I find that ethics is the most fascinating branch of philosophy, but metaphysics is also interesting. So you can see the use of singular verb there. I can say ethic and I can say metaphysic without the S. No. So it has to be metaphysics. And with this noun, you have to use the singular verb. You go with the singular verb, not the plural verb. Now we have foreign plural. What are foreign plural nouns? What are foreign nouns? When we talk about foreign nouns, we are talking about words that are borrowed or that originate from languages like Latin, Greek, French, or Italian. You know, they are not our own words here. They are borrowed. So these words, some of them, they retain their original plural rather than using our own standard of plural, which is adding s or es. Now let's take some examples here. I have, for the Latin word that ends with us, if you have a word that is a Latin word that ends with us for the singular, then the plural form, you just need to change the us to I. For example, cactus. Cactus is the singular form of this. And for the plural, you have it as cacti, not cactuses. Another one I have there, I have fungus. Fungus is the plural. Sorry, fungus is the singular. And you have fungi to be the plural form of it. You have nucleus and you have nuclei. Another one you have there is radius and you have radii, stimulus and you have stimuli. Now, when you have a Latin word that ends with when you have a Latin word that ends with to form the plural, you change that to a. To form the plural of it, you change the to a. For example, bacterium. Bacterium is singular. Bacteria is plural. Curriculum is singular. Curricula is plural. How do we get the plural form of this? We get the plural form by changing our to a. That's all. How many of you know? How many of you here know that datum is the singular form of that data? Be sincere. Oh. Nobody's going to arrest you. You know, we are always going about data, 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 data. Do you even know that the singular form is datum? Who knows before today that the singular form for data is datum? Am I audible, please? Can you hear me, please? Because nobody's reacting, nobody's talking. Am I audible?
Yes, Marie, can hear you.
Okay. Okay, let's continue then. You have medium and the plural form is media. You have symposium, you know, say, oh, annual symposium, annual symposium, annual symposium, MSSN annual symposium. So you have symposium to be the singular and you have symposia to be the plural form of it. Now, when your Latin words end with A, you change the A to AE to form the plural. For example, you have alumna. For alumna, which is the singular, you have alumni to be the plural form of it. Now, I'm expecting a question here. I hope someone ask, Lena will ask that question before I ask that question myself. We all know about alumni, right? I am an alumni of Kinikon Kinikon. I am an alumni of Kinikon Kinikon. So alumni is actually the plural form. Alumni, you can use alumni. This one I have here with AE is particular to female. When you are talking about a group of female graduates of a particular institution, when you are talking about a group of female graduates of a particular institution, you have it to be the one I have on my screen here with AE. But when you are talking about the male, you are talking about the male, or you want to mix the gender now, you use alumni. But when you are talking about singular form, you use alumnus. Alumnus for the singular form. You can have it to be alumnus for the male, and you can have it to be alumna for the female. Do you get it? So it is not every time you say I am alumni. So sometimes you can just specify I am an alumna of so institution. Okay. Now another one I have there, I have antenna, and I have a formula, I have lava, and all of that. So alumni is actually the plural form. Alumni is the plural form of it. When you are referring to a group of male graduates, you say alumni, and you can also use it to generalize. Now, Latin EX changes or IX changes to ICES. For example, when you have appendix, words ending in EX, and it's the Latin word, you change it to ICES for the plural. You have appendix, you have appendices, index, indices. So, oh, I've been taught indices, I've been taught indices. Do you even know the plural form of indices? The plural form is index, index. So you can have it to be indices or indexes, indices or indexes with EXES, indices or indexes. Now you have matrix and matrices. I think we should all know this. Matrices and determinants. Matrices and determinants. Matrix. So We have voters and we have votesses, and like that, like that, like that. When your word, your foreign word is from the Greek origin and it ends in is, you change the plural form to what? Es. Somebody might be thinking now that, oh, how do I know the one that is from Greek, the one that is from Latin, the one that is from, I don't know. How do I know this? The only thing you need to do now is to help yourself by studying this word. Nobody is going to write there that, oh, this one is from Greek. Or remember the what is it called? Remember the rule for it. This one is from Latin. Remember the rule for it. No, nobody is going to tell you that. What you just need to do is learn these things. You learn them, learn the way their singular is written, and learn the way their plural form is written too. So for this, I have analysis that we change the plural form to analysis, axis to axis, basis to basis, crisis to crisis, hypothesis, like that, like that. Now, when you have your word from Greek and you have it to be on for the singular, it changes to a for the plural. Criterion, criteria. Criterion, criteria. Phenomenon, phenomena. Now, when you have it to be from French origin, it has a EAU for the singular form. Then when you want to pluralize it, you have to change that EAU to EAUX. You change your EAU to EAUX such that bureau will change to bureaus. You have tableau, changes to tableaus and all of that. Now, let's talk about pluralizing collective noun. A collective noun, what are collective nouns? A collective noun is a word that refers to a group of people, animal, or things considered as one unit. Your collective noun can be singular or plural, depending on the sense of the sentence. If it is too hard for you to decide on singular or plural, then you can precede your collective noun with a term like members of. If you precede it with members of, it is going to force you to go to plural. That is, when you can precede your collective noun with members of, and it is going to make sense, then you should know that that collective noun is in the plural form, used in the plural form. How do we now know? How do we know if my collective noun is in the singular form or plural form? Let's check that out in the next slide. For your collective noun, you have some examples as team, class, family, committee, crowd, staff, audience, jury, police, etc. Now, when your collective noun, when it takes singular verbs, it is when they are acting as one unit. When the group is acting as one unit, that is when you use a singular verb with your collective noun. If your collective noun is acting as one unit, that is, they are acting as one, then they should take singular verb. For example, the team is playing well. The team is playing well. Here, the team is acting as just one unit. I have the committee has reached a decision. The committee has reached a decision. Here also, the committee is acting as just a single unit. The family lives in Ibadan. The family lives in Ibadan. That is all the family, all the family, they live in Ibadan. They are acting as one unit here. Now, your collective now is going to take a plural verb when the members of the group are acting individually, not as a unit. When they are acting individually and not as a unit. For example, the team are arguing among themselves. Now, team cannot be acting as one unit and still be arguing among themselves. If we are acting as one unit as a team, you would agree with me that all members of that team, we all are going to be what? United in our decision. Yes or no?
Yes, ma.
Good. Now, but because we are not united in our decision, it means we are not even acting as a unit. That is why we are arguing. That is why we are arguing. Maybe someone is saying, okay, for this project, we have to contribute maybe 50,000 naira each. And someone is like, 50,000 naira in this economy, where do you want me to get it? You know, we are not united in our decision. So there was argument ensued among us. So it is acting as what? As individual, what is it called? Individual person now. The family are divided on the issue. If we are acting as a unit, we need not be divided on an issue. So the family are divided on the issue. Here now, you would know that, oh, my collective now needs to take a plural because it is not acting as a single unit. The staff are complaining about salaries. The staff are complaining about salaries. That is, this person is complaining, Mrs. Ajoke is complaining, Mr. Saint is complaining, Mrs. Koforola is complaining, and all of that. So if you can use members of, if members of can precede your collective noun, then definitely the collective noun should take a plural verb. For example, members of the team are arguing among themselves. Members of the family are divided on the issue. So if you can use member of and it still make sense, it is going to convey that same meaning as not using members of. You should know there that that particular collective noun is meant to take a plural verb and not a singular verb. Now, we have some collective nouns that are plural in meaning and form. They always take plural verbs and cannot be singular. For example, you have police, you have people, you have cattle, you have clergy, you have poetry. Note these collective nouns. They are always plural and they always take plural verbs. They cannot be singular. They always take plural verb. They cannot be singular. In my examples, I have the police are investigating the case. The police are investigating the case. You can't say the police is. The police is. No. Back to the class. I have the police are investigating the case. I'm expecting a question like, why is this the police are investigating the case? And what about if I want to use the policeman, not the police? Now, when you say the policeman, you are referring to what? Just a single person. And from the rule of concord, your singular noun takes a singular verb. When you say the policeman there is not plural. It is singular. Such that here now, if I have policeman, it is going to be the policeman is and not are. So I'm going to have the policeman is investigating the case. Why? Because I'm talking about a singular person there. But when I use police without man or woman, it means that I am talking about police as a collective noun. Please, do you understand? Now, if you're also using policemen, that is more than one policeman. If you're using policemen, that is more than one policeman, then you would have to employ the use of plural verb. If I have the policemen, now I am referring to more than one policeman. the policemen. This is pluralized now, not policeman again. Pluralized policemen. Then I have to ensure that my verb is also in the plural form. Please and please get the difference once and for all. When we say the police, this is a collective noun that is plural in form, but and always take what? Plural verb. Policeman is just a single person, and it is going to take a single verb. Policemen, more than one person, and here it is going to attract your plural verb. Let's continue. The next one I have here, I have the cattle are grazing. The cattle are grazing. I already said it here that you have collective nouns that are plural in meaning and form. They always take plural verbs and cannot be singular. Plural in meaning and form. Okay. Before we move to the next thing, any question from anyone, please? If you have a question, you can type your question in the chat box. If you have a question, type your question in the chat box. If you have a question, please type your question in the chat box before I write out my question. Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, I should clarify the police are investigating the case. The reason behind the police are investigating the case, the reason is not far-fetched. The reason is because police there is treated as a plural noun. Police there is treated as what? A plural noun. It is talking about a collective noun here, which is always plural. Police here is a collective noun, which is always plural, and it is not referring to one person only. It is referring to what? Group of police officers. Police here refers to group of what? Group of police officers, not just one, a single, no, sorry, please, not just a single policeman. If you are talking about a single officer now, you can just say policeman. When you say policeman or policewoman, here you are referring to just a single person. You are referring to a single person. But when you say police, police here refers to group of police officers. Do you get the difference now? Do you get the difference now? Okay. So when I say policeman, I am talking about just one person. When I say policewoman, just one person. But when I say police, without adding man or woman, it means I am talking about group of police officers. It could be group of police men or group of police women, but just know that it's group of police officers. That is what differentiates it. So I can have the policeman is investigating the case. The policeman, just a single person now, is investigating the case. Now, if I have more than one policeman here, I want to maybe there were two policemen investigating that case. Now I am going to have it to be the policemen. Don't forget, I keep mentioning that this is one of the rules of Concord, that your singular subject attracts a singular verb. For the first one here, your singular subject is policeman, and it attracts a singular verb, which is. For the second one, you have policemen. This men already shows you that this is plural, not singular anymore. And from that rule of Concord, subject-verb agreement, it is going to attract a plural verb, which is are. Are is the plural of is. Then here now we have the policemen are investigating the case. And also the police, now group of police officers. The police are, this one will also be are because it acts as a collective noun here, which is in plural form. The police are investigating the case. I hope this is clear. So police itself, this word itself has no singular form. Police itself has no singular form. You cannot say a police is here. No, because you consider it to be plural. You can say a policeman is here. Good, that one is fine. But you can say a police is here. Okay, I think I have another question. Yeah. One question. Just one question. No, that means my learners really, really understood everything I have said. Okay. If this is the only question I have for this, and I know some of you might be shy to ask questions here. You can always ask your question maybe you come to my DM, ask your question, and I will always post the question and the answer on the group with the explanation also, without tagging your name. Don't think that, hey, so she will still go and write it there and put my name. And I don't want to ask in the class so that people will not know that I am the one asking such question. Okay, if this is clearly understood, let's move to something else for today. Before we move to something else, I want us to take some questions. Question one. Now, there won't be option for this question, sorry. You have to determine if this collective noun is performing a singular function here or plural. Okay, I have my question here. I said I would not be putting option in this question. I want to know the learners that I've been following and the ones that I have not been following. So you have to determine yourself if this collective noun is singular or plural, and you determine the verb to use. First one I have the audience that like and enthusiastic. The second one I have the family quarreling among themselves. The third one, the family dash united behind their leader. The fourth one, the staff dash complaining about poor working conditions. And the last one there, all the cattle on Lamide's farm dash tick free. I'll be expecting your answers in the chat box. Type answers, please. Look at the questions carefully before you type your answer. Okay, you can answer number one, something. Number two, listen. Number three, instead, we have more than 11. Okay, once is this is so funny. Okay, just a few minutes more for that. Now to our answers quickly. Okay, I think I got more correct answers. Now the audience was large and enthusiastic. Audience here is considered was just a single unit. The next one I have the family dash quarreling among themselves. This is going to be a very simple one because I explained something like this while sharing my slide. So the family are quarreling. Here they are not acting as individual units, but they are not acting as a unit. Rather, they are acting as individuals. The family dash united behind their leader. I know this is going to give you a clue on what the answer should be. United, it means they are acting as a unit. So the family is united behind their leader. Now the next one, the staff dash complaining about poor working conditions. The staff are complaining. The staff are complaining. This person is complaining, the other person is complaining too. All the cattle on Lamidi's farm dash tick free. This is are, because cattle is one of those collective nouns that act as plural and it takes plural verb. So I have the staff are complaining because they are not acting as a group here. The family is united. The family are quarreling. And I have the audience is large and enthusiastic. If you are talking about it in the past tense, you can use is, you can use was. Anyone goes. So far it is singular. Okay, now let's move to articles and determiners quickly. Okay, who else cannot hear me? Somebody said she can't hear me. Who else cannot hear me, please? Who else cannot hear me? If you can't hear me, kindly let me know. You cannot hear me also. Okay.
I could not hear you the other time. Can you please repeat the answers?
Okay, can I repeat the answers? Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma.
Okay. I have the answers here. I said in the first one, the audience is acting as a single unit. The audience here is acting as a single unit. Aisha, can you hear me now? Aisha Sharifdin, can you hear me now? Can everyone hear me loud and clear? Okay, so the audience is acting as just a single unit here. So you have the audience is. I am using is because some learners used is and some used was. So you can either put it in the present form or in the past form. If you are using the present form, then you are good to go with is. If you are using the past form, you are good to go with was. That was why I have is slash was as my answer. Now, the family are quarreling among themselves. While I was sharing my slide, I explained something like this in my example, where I think I have the family are arguing or something among themselves. So now I said, if we are acting as a single unit, then there is no need to argue. If we are acting as a single unit, there is no need to argue. That is, we would have all decided that, okay, this is what we'll be doing. But if we are not acting as a single unit, then if this person is bringing one opinion, the other person just be what? Negating it. That, oh no, we can't do this. Let's do this instead. That means that we are not acting as a single unit. So if we are not acting as a single unit, definitely that collective noun should take a plural, not a singular. If it is acting as a single unit, you give it a singular verb. If it is acting as individual, you give it a plural verb. Aisha, do you understand now? Okay. So the third one I have, the family is united behind their leader. Now, even if you don't know which verb to give this third example, this word united already open your eyes to something. United, it means, oh, they're acting as a group there. They're acting as one. So you know that it attracts a singular verb. The staff are complaining about poor working conditions. Here, this person is complaining, this one also is complaining, this one also is complaining. So you use a plural verb. All the cattle on Lamidi's farm are tick-free. We already mentioned that cattle is one of those collective nouns that is plural. One of the collective nouns that is plural. So you have cattle, you have please as another example on that. So cattle acting as a plural should take a plural verb. You don't say all the cattle on Lamide's farm is tick free. No. All the cattle, and you don't need to put an S to make it cattle. No. All the cattle on Lamide's farm are tick free. Now let's quickly move to articles and determiners. Now, when we talk about articles and determiners the UTME way, it is very, very specific. You don't need to start beating around the bush, writing the meaning of this and the meaning of that. When we say article is a word that you use before a noun. So article is a word that is used before a noun to show whether the noun is talking about something general or specific. So when you say article is a word we use before a noun to show whether it is general or specific. It tells us which one or anyone or a particular one. When we talk about article, we have two types of article. We have the definite article and we have the indefinite article. Now, we will start with the indefinite article. Indefinite article, you have indefinite articles a and an. So we have definite and indefinite article. Now, let's take the indefinite articles first. When we talk about something that is not specific or something that is mentioned for the first time, you use your indefinite article. When you are talking about something that is not specific or something that is mentioned for the first time, you use your indefinite article. Now, indefinite is just the opposite of indefinite means specific. I am specific about the person or thing I am referring to. But when I say indefinite is talking about something that is not specific. And there are two. Your indefinite articles are two. I have a and an. So I have a and an. These are the two indefinite articles that I have. I have articles a and an. And the third one, what we all know is indefinite articles a, an, and d. So the is definite, while a and an are indefinite articles. When do you use a? When do you use an? You use a when you have it coming before a word with a consonant sound. A precedes words with consonant sound. Article A now. My article A is used before words that begins with consonant sound. Now, another question arises. How do I know all words that begin with consonant sound? This is where practice comes in. I already know that my vowel sounds are what? And this sounds now, you need to wait before you can know this sound, then you have to know how to transcribe. Or better still, you look it up in your dictionary, you look up words in your dictionary, you have your transcription there. So you would know the ones that start with vowel sound and the words that start with consonant sound. Some words will start with consonant letter. It has consonant sound. Some words are going to start with what? Vowel sound. For example, your A, E, I, O, and U. And you have some words that start with the consonant letter, but they do not have consonant sound. For example, let me digress a bit. When you have hour, you all will agree with me that hour starts with a consonant letter, right? H. But now, don't be confused because I said you use a with words that starts with consonant sound. You now says a hour. No. Because here, if you transcribe your hour, it does not start with a vowel sound. So you can't say a hour because it does not start with consonant sound. I already said that a is used before words that begin with consonant sound. Don't confuse sound and letter. H is a consonant letter. Does not necessarily mean that hour is going to be is going to start with a consonant sound. No. Here now, if you transcribe this, you have this sound like this. So you have something like this here. You have this. This is the transcription. This is the transcription of this. This here is a vowel sound. Right here is the vowel sound. I have the vowel sound here. So having it to be a consonant letter does not mean that it is going to have a consonant sound beginning it. That is why you have to, just learn as many as possible, learn as much as possible. The words that start with sounds, you learn the transcription of words so as to know which one is going to take a and which one is going to take an. So now I do not say a har. No. That is why you have an har, because an is used before words that begin with vowel sound. Now let's put something for an. My article, the second indefinite article I have here, an an is used before words that begin with vowel sound. So for example, here I have a book, a cat, a mat, a boy, a girl, etc. And for this one, I have an hour, I have an apple, an egg. Tí bá dẹ̀ mú ẹ ní ọ̀sán yìí, tí bá dẹ̀ ṣe tán báyìí, tí bá dẹ̀ wàá mú ẹ. Okay, let's take it. Oh, I have been muted ever since. Okay, someone asked the question. She said, do we say a university or an university? Now, this is my answer to that question. Although university has a U in the beginning, which is a vowel letter, but mind you, we are not talking about letters here. Rather, we are considering sound. You, when you try and transcribe university, the first letter there is going to be transcribed as a consonant sound. It has a consonant sound for the first letter, U. And that makes it attract the indefinite article a, because we already learned that you use a before consonant sounds and you use an before vowel sound. So when you transcribe university, you have a consonant sound beginning that transcription. That means that I am going to use a. So a university, not an university. If you've been making a mistake of saying I've gotten admission into an university, that does not even sound well to the ears. So you say a university, not an university. Is that okay? To the learner that asked the question, do you get it now? How do we know the difference between these things? How do I know words that have consonant sound in their beginning and words that have vowel sounds in their beginning? This is where your practice comes in. You have to practice very well. You have to practice very well. Keep practicing. Practice makes perfection. So when you practice very well, to be perfect. Okay, with this we end the class for today, and in the next class we'll be looking at article the, which is the definite article, and also determiners. All right, with this I leave you to enjoy your break before the next class. I'll see you in the next class. Please and please ensure you go over the recordings to jot down important points. I'll see you in the next class. Keep being good and continue to be smart. All right, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.
جزاكم الله خيرا.
جزاكم الله خير.
I mean, once and for